pot. How does it sit in that? I could even go, ooh, that's a massive fucking Hunstman. Whoa! Welcome to Australia. That is a Huntsman spider, and that is exactly what they do. They scare the living Christ out of you. Well, that is probably the most embarrassing moment I've caught on camera, and it was myself. So that's humbling. Good morning, YouTube. It is everyone's favourite unemployed plant guy coming to you from a random Tuesday. Even though the day has not changed from the last video, I'm still wearing the exact same thing. My battery's running out on my watch. Today, I'm going to be working on this. This is the oldest tree that I have. I got this when I was like 14 from a nursery around the corner, and I got it because I liked the pot that it was in at the time, which is now broken and smashed, but I guess that was kind of my first foray as a young chap into at least appreciating what you can do with bonsai. It's been in this pot for definitely less than a year, and it's already, if I pick this up, the roots are already starting to overflow out of the bottom, and it does grow some quite good aerial roots, which I'm hoping to emphasize. But mostly today I want this to be the front, and I want this to really thicken, and it's just not going to happen in this pot, especially in the soil that it's in, because it's just Akadama, lava rock, and a little bit of pine bark, kind of like sifted potting mix, so you just get the big particles. So I'm going to take it out, work on the roots, maybe give it a bit of a trim, we'll see, and get it in a new home. Let's get cracking. Okay, first things first, let's just take it out of the pot, if I can. I'm not too concerned on being rough for this tree, because these are native to Australia. This is a Port Jackson Ficus. I don't live in Port Jackson, but I live in Australia, if you couldn't tell from the accent. So these actually grow like weeds. Like if this gets planted in the ground, I've seen some of these in parks. There's actually some in parks around here, and they get as wide as a car. They're insanely big. So don't plant it in the ground, because they will grow faster than you can anticipate. Unless of course you want that, then by all means plant it in the ground. However, for this particular one, I'm going to keep it in a pot, so don't yuck my yum. Now, the problem with these trees is that you can probably see a little bit on the front. They get these big kind of sweet potato roots, which was the reason that I put it in this soil mix, because it is quite fine and particulate, if you will. But it's just not, whether it's the size of the pot or the lack of organic matter in the soil, I must have put some charcoal in the bottom, it's just not growing fast enough. Well, it grows fast, but it outgrew the size of its pot too quickly. And so that is the method of the madness today. Okay, first things. I've got these two roots on the front, which I'm really not enjoying, these ones that cross over here. My solution to that, depending on how big they are, they're not really that big, I'm just going to delete them. If I can, please. Whoops. Whoa, where was that guy going? Deleted. Very good. There is one here that got left by kind of accident, but that's a happy accident. That's going to grow down, and that will continue to be the next one. Little root coming here off the tree. I actually kind of want the aerial root, so I'm going to keep that. These are all growing down, which is pretty standard. I'm probably going to remove just that off the back there. God damn, I need sharper ones of these. Okay, that's it pretty much tidied up. Let's just get it in a pot, maybe give it some work on top, and we'll go from there. The pot. How does it sit in there? I could even go, ooh, that's a massive fucking Hunstman. Whoa! Welcome to Australia. That is a Huntsman spider, and that is exactly what they do. They scare the living Christ out of you. Oh man, they're harmless. They mostly hunt insects and stuff. That's probably the jump scariest animal we have here. God damn. Alright boy. Can you disappear? Oh no. I just want you gone. Out of my life. He's under the table now. Anyway, there's a massive spider around. He's under the table. I'll be back. Well, that is probably the most embarrassing moment I've caught on camera, and it was myself. So that's humbling. I actually think I want a bigger pot, which means I have to go back to where I got this one from and get a bigger one. But I'm scared to go back there, so this one will do. Alright, let's get to potting this thing up. I'm just going to reuse what's in here for this initially. Most of it will fall through, but that's fine. And then what I've got is a mix of... This is potting mix, potting mix, perlite and vermiculite. Mostly potting mix, and there's no real, anything that moves. There's no real rhyme or reason, although that is a spider's nest egg thing. There's no real rhyme or reason to how much I've put in. It's just flavour to taste, really. Let's just stick this in, see how it goes, see where it sits. Okay, I want that a bit higher in the pot, so we'll add a fair amount more. Very shallow root ball, so that's fine, because we'll get it in, and then it'll grow down and deeper eventually, but all I'm mostly concerned about is just giving it some fuel, some energy, by giving it more roots. Some more space for its roots and a bit more organic material for it to grow into. And the perlite vermiculite just helps with kind of keeping it a bit grittier, allowing it to drain a bit better, although the vermiculite does kind of swell and hold moisture, but that's good because it can hold the fertilizer. If you're using liquid fertilizer, the vermiculite kind of absorbs it and swells up, like it's a pretty small particle. But it basically has like a accordion structure, and when it's full of water, the accordion expands and it holds all the water, and then when it's low, it shrinks back in. But if you're using liquid fertilizer, that means that it's holding that liquid fertilizer in the particle for longer, which means the plant has longer access to the fertilizer. That's why that's there, because I'm going, probably not now, but in spring, to feed this pretty heavily. We're going into winter now, so there's no real point. That's it potted up. Now let's kind of look at what we're working with here and what we actually want this tree to become. I know I want it to be a broom style, but I do want it to be a little bit taller. I want this to be a little bit thicker. This section here. So I might not actually do too much on it. I might remove this because it's kind of going nowhere. Even though I could use it as a sacrificial, it's going to be on the front and I don't really want those scars, like it'll be visible. So this is going to go. That is like perfect cutting material. Don't need it. this back section here, like this is going to be the future of the tree, this. So what I might do is something crazy. Not crazy, but just silly. Do I want to remove it completely? Probably. It does cross over, and it goes back in that way, which I don't really like, so let's just get rid of it. Gotta think quick around here. This one's growing up a bit too tall, which I'm not fond of, so I'm probably going to cut it back to that little leaf. These ones are doing fine, but I don't want this. This is kind of shooting up, and they're both kind of going on this plane here, which I don't want. I kind of want it to branch out in a way. Branch out. I'm going to cut it back to here, because that leaf is going that way, this branch is going that way, and then what I might do is actually just cut this one back to there, where that leaf is going that way. Okay, moving on. This is going to be a nice pad here. This will also be a nice pad. This is purely sacrificial. This one here. Purely a sacrifice. So I might just leave this like that. And I think we're pretty much done with this one. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. I've been Unemployed Plant Guy. And if you like the video, like the video. Thank you. Oh, coffee.